Supposedly.
Directly?
I think so.
Wow. Max, that's great. We've streamlined the process.
I hope so.
I can't. I'm wasting money. This is what I didn't want. I bought a camera I don't like. Bought a backpack I don't want.
Brother, who are you telling? Because here's the beauty of your shit. We're not even in. I don't care. I just don't care, man.
What happened?
Well, it's like, yeah, you spent the money, but your shit works. And what a dream it would be to have working shit right
Max's Nespresso machine.
We'll get to it. You want to play the intro?
I'm sorry. Well, you were in such a huff. I thought we were
in a huff.
foregoing the intro. You're really mad about this Nespresso. Here it is. Here's the intro.
All right, hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
So now let's get into... No,
go ahead.
Boy,
welcome to In the Minivan.
Welcome to In the Minivan.
You're mad. You're turned up.
It's our 1 year anniversary show.
But for some reason, Max just can't be happy.
No, there's not some reason. There's a very specific reason. I got an espresso machine on Wednesday. And mind you, I owe the government $30,000.
Stop telling people
I was very excited. Don't worry about that.
You're letting your anger cloud your judgment. But
yeah, I'm furious. I bought an espresso machine in installments. Okay, because I couldn't justify spending all the money at once. And then I was like so excited. I was like, this is going to be a great purchase for me in the long run. I love espresso. This will be like a European thing. This will get me to really savor.
I don't think there's anything less European than a Nespresso machine. Nobody in Italy is like, fire up the Nespresso.
But it's made by a company called DeLonghi.
DeLonghi?
DeLonghi.
DeLonghi?
DeLonghi. DeLonghi. Who I now have
we don't talk enough about how... Could it be Italian? Yeah, but that sounds like it could be Irish.
Yeah, it could.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they are. They make a horrible dog shit product, and they're pissing me off right now. I got this thing fucking Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't remember when this week. I was very excited. I was like, you know what? How much of a fucking blessing is it that I live in New York City, where I can go straight directly to the Nespresso store to get my pods? I don't need to order these online. Who the fuck is calling me right now? Alon Elion, you can hold your fucking horses. I'm pissed at a coffee machine right now.
Wait, I'm sorry. You got the Nespresso machine so you could go and buy Nespresso pods?
No, that was just
the Nespresso store.
I went to the Nespresso boutique.
Okay. Is that where you bought the machine?
No.
Big mistake.
No.
Well, now you have nobody with any accountability. You've bought it from a company.
I've got a serial number, and I've got a company that needs to pay. So this thing's been killing it all week. I'll say that. Since I got it,
You've been wearing this thing out since you got it.
I know I have. And
how many espressos a day?
I don't fucking know. Enough to the point where I am having like severe panic attacks because of the caffeine I'm putting in my body.
You're the maddest I've ever seen you.
I've never been this mad before.
You have coffee coursing through you.
Yeah.
A machine that knows better. A machine that goes, hey, this guy needs to chill out. Maybe the machine just stops working after you've had 5 espressos in a day.
That's possible, but I haven't.
You are keyed up.
But it's not. But I've only had... maybe 3 cups
Jesus,
today.
You're in a fucking rage
I'm
spiral.
so angry because you know what else I've done? I've wasted like 4 pots trying to get this fucking thing to work.
I know. Well, you don't want to waste your drugs.
That's like $20.
Might
That's
as well
not $20.
dump a bunch of cocaine down the toilet.
It would have been more cost effective to buy a bag of cocaine and flushed it down the toilet. Would have cost me less than to drink this espresso and not have it work now. I'm so angry. Nespresso, DeLonghi, I've got a bone to pick with you. It's the 1 year anniversary of our podcast.
Yep, and for that, we thank you.
Damn it.
God damn it, dude. Just once. We've been doing this for a year. Just hit a right button. Thank you, God.
I got it.
I've decided this year, okay, New Year's resolution, I'm not holding back anymore. I listened back to an episode...
Finally.
Last week's episode. I do it sometimes. Stop acting like I don't. And I'm mean to you in the show, and I forget it. I'm not that mean.
No, you're
checked
not.
with Clark. I was like,
You're not mean.
If there's any whiff of me pushing back against you or being like, shut up, I'm like, oh, that was me.
But do I ever complain about it or tell you you're being it? Because it's good podcast material.
Well, good, because I'm leaning into it now, goddammit.
I love it, dude.
I've had too much coffee, and I'm going to say
yeah, and you know what? Who got the last espresso that my machine put the fuck
you
out?
You offered the espresso to me. You were trying to share an espresso with me, and you finished mine, and then your machine stopped working when it got to you.
It's true.
Now, I offered you some of my espresso.
True.
I actually gave you half of my espresso.
But only I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the machine. I bought these cute little glasses and saucers. I was very excited because, as we know, last week was...
Oh, my God. You bought those glasses and saucers for your espresso machine.
Yeah, dude. I got so excited. Before the machine even got to my apartment, I bought pods. I bought the cups. I bought the saucers. I was so excited to share
What's
espresso.
going on in your life that you were like, I need to buy this espresso machine? What did you think you were going to gain?
Well, a few things. First, here's my problem with regular coffee is I'll make like 3 pots a day and I'll just keep drinking it because if it's something that I'm making, if I have a lot of it, I'm like fucking I can't stop chugging. This at least forces me to reevaluate after every cup.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I guess I get that. It's a little stopgap. It's a little bit like
you can't make more than one at a time.
Yes, but because of that, what are you making? 5, 6 at a
Well, I get excited because I want to try different types. So I get a bunch of different coffees, and I'm like, well, let's see what this one's about. And then next thing I know, I've had 3 shots of espresso, but then I got the one that also makes coffee. So it's like really fucking powerful shit. I've had like 3 cups of regular coffee, 2 shots of espresso, sometimes the other order, flip-flop around. Who's to say?
So you're still wearing the old machine out, too. You're still putting that girl
Absolutely, dude.
on the street.
She's working.
Yeah.
And like, because here's the thing, dude. It's so strong, and when you have that much caffeine, you got to remember to drink water.
Are you drinking water?
No.
Dude, you have to... Drink water.
I'm working on it.
God damn it.
It's not that I'm not drinking. I'm not drinking enough water to counteract just how intense this caffeine
I know.
rush
You got to
is.
overdo the water if you're doing that much caffeine.
I know, and I'm overdoing the caffeine, so I passed out on the train the other night,
I mean,
too.
dare I say you should be salting your water.
Salting it?
It's more of that Huberman stuff. It's more of that Huberman jazz.
We'll get into it. Should we introduce... This is a special episode.
Oh, yeah. We've been doing this podcast. What's the special episode?
Well, first off, welcome to In the Minivan.
We said that.
Okay, well, what is this a podcast about?
Who gives a shit?
That's right. We are... It's a loosey-goosey one today. This is In the Minivan. I'm Max Fine.
I'm Michael Rowland.
This is a podcast about music, friendship, and staying positive, which we have just really fucking ignored.
You really shot that pig in the face, huh?
Oh, she's squealing, and this is the 1-year anniversary.
Yep.
We've been doing this podcast for a little over a year now, and it's an exciting feat.
Have made none of the changes that we said we were going to paint this room.
We put
pictures up. We put a picture of Justin Towns Earl up. We put this in the
light box that we don't turn on.
We don't turn on anymore.
We've got some unframed art.
We've got a picture. I don't want to say erotic painting of Peggy Hill.
It's a real life painting of Peggy Hill.
Yeah, she looks, beautiful.
Emily Effler did it, friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod for sure.
And then
great tattoo artist in Los Angeles.
Great tattoo artist. She did my French fries.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got a French fry tattoo on my ankle.
I don't think she would want you to tell people that.
Grow up. We also have, we've got, what is this one, Michael?
That is from our friend. Oh, that is Sadie Mae Stewart.
Yep. That being said, we didn't get as many, we're going to just retrospective.
We're going to retrospective.
We're going to do our whole lives here. You know what we didn't get much of this year?
What?
Fan art. We got one thing of fan art, and then I bought another one.
And we said we were going to paint the room, but we haven't painted the room.
Fuck painting a room. That's not for us to do. That's for something. Here's the thing. We are making just enough Patreon money to still not be able to afford bringing someone on board.
That's right.
So if you're an aspiring podcast producer and you want a cadaver to work on,
If you want a pig to dissect,
yeah, bro,
let us be that pig.
Boy, howdy, we'd love to bring you into our freshman biology class. And if cutting a frog apart stresses you out, this is a flower now.
If you're squeamish,
we can turn into a flower, baby.
We also can be a pea sprout. Is that?
Yeah. So,
anyway,
first year down.
Good thing we got so good at this.
I'm just so angry. That's the problem. I'm coming into this with way too hot of a head.
It's okay. We can cool as we go.
Yeah.
Let's bring it in. I had a good week.
Yeah?
Do you know what I did?
No.
Spanish.
This is going to be the same as last week, isn't it?
I will tell you, I'm way less confident about my Spanish. I wasn't confident to begin with, but I've lost confidence.
What happened?
It's just I'm learning that I'm not learning enough. I've been drilling on note cards, but I haven't been drilling with the audio portion. I was listening to some Spanish on the way over here, some sentences I'm supposed to know. I was like lost in the woods, man. I couldn't say the sentences. Oh my goodness. And there's this whole thing about reading a note card in Spanish and knowing what it means, being able to know what it means, but also I haven't been doing the flip side where you read the English version,
Michael,
and then you say it in Spanish properly.
Why are you so opposed to Duolingo?
Because it's not, listen, okay, this is what I learned today, and this is so good.
Tell me.
This is syntax versus vocabulary. Now, when you're working with Duolingo...
So you can drool all over your face.
I'm losing it. I'm trying to teach to learn right now, dude. I'm so lost. But okay,
you're lost.
I just read this today, and I'm trying to remember syntax versus your vocabulary. So when you're doing Duolingo, it's very vocabulary based. You're like, this word means this, that word means this. It's like if you were to walk into a graduate, like top level medical student class, they'd be throwing around a lot of jargon that you don't understand, but you have a grasp of the English language, so you can ask what each word means individually. You have a grasp of syntax, so you can ask about vocabulary. So when you lead with vocabulary, you don't have a syntax to work from in order to inquire as to what other vocabulary exists within a given language. So when you start with syntax, things like, how do you say was, were, is? Uh-huh. How do I refer to a person? How do I refer to a thing? You know what I mean? The basic structure of a language or a sentence, like grammar.
Sure.
In order to build your vocabulary out. Did I? Fuck.
I
feel like I sort of got it towards the end.
I cannot wait for you to listen back to what you just said.
Why?
Because I think I get it. I understand what you're trying to say.
I think
that's the syntax of it. Is I understand what you're saying by context alone.
Okay.
But like I'm watching you talk to me and I'm hearing it and I'm thinking to myself, you just got to follow along a little bit and you'll be able to pick apart what else is happening.
Oh man, I'm already so embarrassed that I try to...
But I'm so stressed out right now because the coffee maker's broken, and I'm thinking about that, and I'm trying to, understand Spanish syntax and medical graduation jargon.
I literally just tried to convey to you 2 pages out of the Spanish textbook I read.
Oh, you're doing a textbook?
Yeah, but, online. So it's just you follow along.
And this is all to go to Medellin.
Yeah, but... It's a bigger goal of just trying to learn Spanish.
I think the real trick is going to be learning Chinese.
Why?
I feel like we're going to need to know that.
But dude, you need to know Spanish first though. I don't know how many kitchens you've worked in where you need to know Chinese, but we both were in the restaurant industry in Atlanta, and Spanish is way more helpful.
Absolutely, and I know how to insult people in Spanish.
Yeah,
specifically, I know how to insult the guy that's not working the grill the right way.
Hilario. Of course.
No, Hilario was saute. I think. Okay, we'll get into Hilario. We'll talk about some of our old laughs and haunts because
this is the one episode, but. What I was going to say is there is different schools of thought. Some people think you should learn the most complicated language first, like Chinese.
Yeah.
And some people think you should learn an easy language first, like Spanish. Spanish is easy for us. We have at least some context for it through our whole lives.
That makes sense. And
And if we get Spanish, we can talk to most of the Western Hemisphere because it's mostly English and Spanish.
That's true.
And then some Portuguese and some French. But if you have English and Spanish, buddy, you got a lot of freedom to move.
In high school, I had a teacher, Mr. Do you remember the Latin teacher's name?
No.
But he was like this old Southern dude.
I took French.
I wanted to take French.
No, we had, what was her name? Madame. Oh, I forget.
I can't remember my Latin teacher's name, but I remember that like one time in class, I brought a water bottle filled with vodka, and he caught.
You fucking degenerate!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Well, it gets better because he clocked me.
Where were you raised? Fucking Detroit? Jesus! Water bottle full of vodka. You weren't even there your junior and senior year.
This was my sophomore. No, this was.
That is outrageous.
This was the start of my junior year because I dropped out the middle of my junior year.
Okay.
And I had this water bottle filled with vodka. Because you got to remember, we were coming back from Scotland, and I was like, I've got a reputation to maintain.
This is gross, but keep going.
So I show up with a water bottle filled with vodka, and I'm talking to another guy.
What is this, a music festival?
Kind of.
Keep going.
Well, there are pictures from that day. Someone took pictures of me anyways, someone else in the class has pain pills. They're fucked up on pain pills next to me. I'm in front of them with a water bottle filled with vodka, and I'm not covert.
Sounds like a movie directed by
Richard Linklater. and we've all got Southern accents. We're talking Texas out there, dude. And I'm offering him vodka. He's giving me pain pills. The fucking teacher comes over, this old Southern man, the first time he's talked to me in 2 years.
And this was the Latin teacher. I remember the Latin teacher. For some reason, I thought you meant Spanish.
No. And I don't remember his name, but he looks at me and he immediately is like, all right, this is liquor. And he's like, all right, you've got two options. You can either take this to the principal's office or you can drink it all right now, throw the bottle away, and I'll pretend like I didn't see you.
There's no way that's true.
It is totally true.
What is this, a Harmony Korine movie?
No, but I then, because I was hammered drunk at this point, it was one of those things where like I knew I've got like 30 seconds, not 30 seconds, like 30 minutes before the alcohol really sets in.
Less.
Probably less. 10. I went right out to my car, locked the door, and just slept for the rest of the day in the car in the parking lot. And then I went over to Jaron's house and puked immensely.
I felt bad for that Latin teacher.
I walked all over that man for
everybody did, and he was checked out. He was like, "Oh, wiki, wow,
yeah." He would say shit, and it's like to hear an old Southern man speak Latin is really startling.
Yeah.
And it's slow. He doesn't speak with any urgency.
Sic semper tyrannis.
Dude, I sold a kid weed in a film canister once in that class.
Is that a bottle of vodka?
That was kind of what it was like. Because I remember that was the class, because there was a point in time where I found, I don't want to say too much, but I found a small stash of weed when I was in high school, and I was like, I think I can sell some of this and make some money. And I would sell it out of the Latin class. So because he didn't give a fuck what happened in that class.
He was checked.
He was so checked out. Kids would come in, grab a little fucking film canister from me filled with weed, and I would just send them off their way. And he was just
it's a shocker that you never finished high school.
Yeah. Well, it's not a shock.
Dude, I have a very distinct memory of that Latin class, and it's so fucked up to even say, because I still remember the way he had the class set up was desks facing each other.
Yes.
You sort of walk down the center in a sort of Mick Jagger down the runway type of way,
catwalk.
But not cool. Yeah, a little catwalk with students on either end facing in on each other. And there was this quiet kid across from me, and I remember one day I see him, and he's sitting across, and I don't think anybody sees him. He's rock hard in his pants. And just rubbing it. And dude, I watched him I think, oh my fucking God, I think I watched him climax, because I think he's head went back, and then he just slumped in his chair, and I was like, what the fuck? And it felt like something out of a movie where he's looking around, but he looks everywhere but at the camera.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there staring at him. He's looking around like, does anybody see that? It doesn't.
Why were you in the classroom?
See me looking right at him. I took that Latin class.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Fuck. Man, what is it about our high school and kids jerking off in there, in class? That happened a few times. That happened in my biology class freshman year.
Really?
This kid, he built like a book tent. And he was he was in like the back corner. And he's got like a book tent and he's like going to town.
It's so funny because I never thought of our high school as like that, like perverse a place, but it's just like,
of course it was.
Everybody was drunk. People were jerking off in the aisles.
Dude, it's a public high school that straddles the suburbs and the city.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to be, and it's art kids.
Yeah.
So it's like and nerds. So this one kid, he's got a book tent. He's like poking it with a pencil and some shit, like doing weird. And I see it, and I'm just
got a book tent. He's poking it with a pencil. Oh my god, dude!
And I'm like
sending my kids to private school.
Oh, absolutely, dude. This is disgusting.
Chaos, dude.
And I see it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking like call this guy out and be like, hey, do you remember the biology teacher? He was really fucking cool. Stevens?
I have no idea.
He was awesome. He passed away a few years ago, and I remember that was a bummer. But I just remember Stephen Fowler, the fucking coolest.
Oh, Mr. Fowler.
He was really into coffee, and my Nespresso machine is broken. So I look over, and I'm just like, I'm not going to be like, hey, Mr. Fowler, this kid's jerking off. But one of the girls in front of me definitely was like, oh my God, this kid is jerking off. So we had to like evacuate the room. It felt like a fucking active shooter. They were like,
everybody get it. What was he doing? Was he smiling? Was he like, hell yeah?
Oh, he was so embarrassed. What are you gonna like? He wasn't stoked about it at all. It was definitely like hey, I think it's like I have a compulsive thing where I have to jerk off.
High school teachers have to just be weeping for the future at all times.
Always.
They're just seeing this and they're just like, oh my God.
Dude, well,
we're absolutely
did I tell you about I know I've told you this. This is my favorite thing that ever happened to me at North Springs High School. When the kid shit in the middle of class.
What?
Oh my God. To this day, I don't think I've ever laughed like I did this day. I had a lit teacher, Miss. She fucking hated me.
Was it because you were drunk and selling weed out of her class?
No, that was the Latin teacher.
Of course.
He loved me.
Because you didn't give him any guff.
No, dude, I was like, you
can run your business, just leave me out of it.
He saw an entrepreneurial spirit that he wanted to foster.
He's not jerking off in class.
He's not jerking off in class.
I guess I'll let it slide.
But Miss Mellinson hated me because I like had attitude and I thought I was smarter than everybody.
You had attitude.
That was like a class because like lit, I always did well. I was always a good writer and like I could read really quickly. So I just had a fucking pompous attitude about myself.
Miss Mellinson, I think I got
I've read
this.
Catcher in the Rye.
Did I read it?
In 20 minutes flat. But so you remember how they were the classes, the desks were the ones that are like attached to the chairs?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean, right?
Desks?
Yeah, but like when you're in a high school setting.
And the chair is attached to the desk.
You get it?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's this kid, and in the middle of class, he goes, huh! And kind of like stands up in the middle of it.
Oh, God.
And I was like, are you all right? Because you sit next to me. I was like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And like 10 minutes later, he's standing like this. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? I don't know. But then the bell rings and he gets up and a solid turd fell through his shorts onto the ground. And I lost my mind. I lost it. Like, I was really uncool about this.
Oh my God, this kid just shit. Everybody please look. He just shit. There's shit everywhere. He just did it. It just came out of his shorts. Everybody. No, don't leave. Come back.
You're so close. Because my first instinct was to jump on the chair and point at it.
It was a mouse.
And I'm pointing like, there's shit. And this poor kid is like beat. Right? He is so embarrassed because he just shit his pants.
You don't even remember his face, do you?
I remember his face and his name, and I don't want to say it because, like, I'll throw a teacher under the bus, no problem.
Yeah.
This kid did not have it.
This is your
coming.
chance to be cool for a second.
Totally, dude. Because look, objectively,
as a guy that shits their pants a lot, not like that.
No, but this is like the funniest thing that's ever happened in a classroom.
Yeah.
Like, it really could not have been more funny.
Yeah.
And I like to think that this guy, like 15 years later,
this poor guy
is probably that was hysterical.
My guy, he shit himself by accident,
and it was solid enough.
He deer in headlights it. That's a moment where your cortisol shoots through the roof, your heart rate is jacked, And it's like, what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah.
My man is frozen. Active shooter in the room. You think you're running. Turns out you just stand there, dude, and you are shocked. Shocked by your own response to something that demands immediate action.
Well, here's something that I haven't considered until now. The core strength it must have taken this guy.
See, the only real option if you're wearing shorts, you got to grab the shorts. You got to grab at your thighs.
And pinch your legs.
Bunch at the knees, and you got to shuffle out, dude. You got to shuffle out like you're a lady in like an old school jumper. Just get out.
Oh, my
God. And run,
God.
and they can stipulate. They can talk. But they never saw a turd.
They can make an assumption, but there's no guarantee.
Nothing. They can prove nothing. Only that, Your Honor, you will see that nobody saw a turd produced.
Saw shit.
He came back from the bathroom 10 minutes later.
Yep. Well,
sat in his seat.
Dude.
And that's when there's a great line from a comedian, Dick Bain, passed away. He was a fucking Portland dude, and he moved to Los Angeles, and I saw him at Flappers, open for Dave Coulier, and I walked out of Dave Coulier's set, but I watched this dude go up and destroy, and he had Richard Bain, and he went up there, and he had this joke where he's like, when you shit your pants, your boxers become toilet paper and the trash can becomes a secret keeper.
Well, dude, we used to, in high school, we would stay in theater rehearsal until like 10 p.m. some nights. Mm-hmm. And I remember once, like, I was already driving at this point, so I was driving home and I was smoking a cigarette outside the black box and the door locks, right? I was like the last one. Yeah. I was the last one, so I couldn't get back in, and then I had to shit. And I wound up a little like I sharded. And I just remember do you remember in Noises Off? How I was wearing the...
God, I still wish I did that play so much. But you were great in it.
Well,
everybody was so wonderful.
It was a really special play.
What were you saying?
So there's
still my biggest...
I get it. You would have been a great salesman, by the way, but Christian Young really came through in the pitch.
Good. And Christian Young was wonderful.
He was wonderful.
Such a comedic.
Such a goofy dude.
So great.
He said one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Nils asked him once, what's the crazy... Because this is when we realized Christian was funny.
Yeah.
Because like we had all had like a rapport from knowing each other for a little while.
And Christian's quiet. He bides his time.
He's quiet and he's the freshman.
Yeah.
So nobody knows him. And we're laughing at him like he's just saying goofy shit. And Nils like, what's the craziest thing you've ever done? And Christian's like, well, I pissed off a tree once. And Nils didn't register for him. Nils goes, what'd you do to the tree? And then immediately caught himself. Oh, you pissed off a tree. But in Noises Off, I spend a good chunk of that play in my underwear.
Right.
And so I had to have all these prop underwears.
Yeah.
And boy, did I shart in one of them. And just threw it, and it landed on someone's windshield. Because I, like, ripped them off. And was like... And it just didn't go nearly as far as I thought it would. Fell on a windshield. I panicked and just took off running.
You bolted.
Bolted.
Jesus.
So there's
you really learn a lot about yourself when you shit.
No kidding, dude. But yeah, man. I mean, we don't have to spend the entire episode talking about times we've shit in high school.
No, we didn't. But, buddy, those were good stories.
Good stories,
and
because...
This was the time of the minivan.
Right,
baby.
and I was going to say, these were the kind of conversations that I think we were probably having in high school.
Absolutely. And that's why, for these songs this week, we're going to tell you some music we were definitely listening to in high school.
We didn't do the normal ask for Patreon, stuff like that, and I don't think we're going to, because this is just a celebration episode.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we do have some special stuff on the Patreon right now. We have my FBI story up there. We've got some fun playlists coming. We've got the mixtape, Michael's Jams mixtape. So all the beats and stuff, that's coming for the $10 patrons.
Yep.
It's in the notes. But this is a celebration. I've never had a podcast for a year before. You've never had one for a year before.
What'd you say? It was 10% of
something
podcasts?
It's like 10% don't last more than a year.
Let's go.
So we're already up there. We have T-shirts coming for Patreon, and we've got some live stuff that we won't announce yet, but we're very excited about it. That being said, because the conceit of this podcast is just living in the past and and trying to be
looking towards the future.
Towards the future. We're gonna just listen to some music. We picked out some songs that we listened to in high school, which basically every Friday night, I don't know if we've ever really established this.
Well, I think we have, but for
new listeners,
older listeners.
So in high school, every Friday night, Michael and one or a couple of our other friends would show up at my house, and we would park the car in the driveway, hang out in Michael's minivan.
Take down the seats. It was a real cruiser.
Dude, that's right. I forgot about taking down the seats.
Then we would hotbox that
Hotbox it, and it was as stereotypical high school shit.
I think that 70s show had a big impact on the culture of our childhood.
Totally.
It did.
It totally did.
Some ways trying to mimic that growing up.
Well,
it was in vogue to have like shaggy hair and be a weird, like, Led Zeppelin 70s music loving hippie.
Well, it wasn't even just your minivan. There was like a period where everybody that we were kind of hanging out with had SUVs of some kind, and we would all fold the seats down. And like, I remember going to like Quick Trip and hanging out in the parking lot of like Becca's Honda Element.
Oh yeah,
and it's just like, as long as there's a back seat where we can open everything up and smoke pot, we can kind of hang anywhere we want, dude. Oh wait, which?
Sorry.
So, with that being said, we are going to play some of these jams that we've been listening to forever. And Michael, you're starting us off. It sounds like
Foreplay Long Time by Boston. I got into Boston in high school when I was smoking, and I was obsessed with this album.
Turn it up. I remember you getting into Boston because it was exciting when the Boston song came on Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah, that was it. Guitar Hero had a big impact.
Yeah.
And then this song was huge for me. You gotta imagine, you just started smoking and like you're listening to this epic.
Well, I remember you getting into smoking pot was a big deal around the theater program.
Because I was resistant.
You were so resistant at first. You were resistant to a lot of the bad shit. Like
I wasn't
you
I?
were. You were the only one. Like, because you were a year older than me. And I don't think you had smoked pot yet your freshman year. It wasn't until your sophomore year.
Yeah.
Because I remember Nick and Nils coming into class like, we got Michael high. And it was like, no way, dude.
Yep.
And the big story that Nick told for years after that was you got high. Everybody was having a good time. They thought you passed out. And they look over the couch and you were just raising your naked asshole up. You fart and bring it right back down. And everybody was like, it's great, Michael's smoking weed now.
It's one of the biggest regrets of my life is when I started smoking. I hate this. I hate that it's part of our shtick. I hate that I spent the next 2 years just doing that and listening to music. I waste myself every day. There's parts of it I like, I guess, but ultimately, I wish I'd waited. If you're listening to this and you're young, wait till you're at least 24. Wait till your brain's formed. Be good to yourself. Try to read. Absorb all you can before you're 24. The one good thing is I think I absorbed a lot of music because I was really into it. But that's when your brain is most plastic, and I wish I had never started then. I wish I'd waited till I was 30 like Kevin Smith or some shit. And just been like, wow, isn't this incredible? It seems like if you start when you're 30, you could just smoke the rest of your life and you're fine because your brain's fully formed. We're wrecked. Do you notice we come on here and we just talk about how we're a little bit fucked up all the time? Do you notice that? Do you notice how we're never like fully present or happy? Okay? It's just, there's a space for it. And if you can create a healthy relationship to substances in your life, you absolutely should take the time to do that. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it was really fun to get high and listen to this song.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That is the entirety of this show.
Yeah.
We had some fun.
Yeah, for sure. There was fun.
And for all intents and purposes, things worked out okay.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did.
I understand that you wish you waited. But it's crazy to hear someone who is being paid to be on TV
It's okay to
say that they wish that they
I just want to pass that knowledge on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, smoking pot's bad? Is that the message?
If you want to oversimplify it like that and make me sound all fucking silly when I had a huge drawn-out explanation, then yeah, sure. Smoking pot's bad.
But think about all the fun.
Yeah, there was a lot of fun. Dude, it was a lot of fun.
It was the most fun. Do you remember there was a one night where Nick went on a rant.
Is it gonna be?
No, it's kind of, I need you to like this. I need to bring you back.
Okay.
There was one night Nick went on a riff for about 10 minutes standing under a tree. He got so high and he was just explaining to us that he's not going to feed the leprechaun Lucky Charms. But he played it so seriously. Anytime someone would have a conversation with Nick was dead quiet the entire night. But anytime someone was like, hey, Nick, no, dude, I can't give the leprechaun my marshmallows. It's insane that you would even ask me to do that. And he did this for like an entire hour. Man, you were laughing so hard when it happened. I thought maybe this would bring you right back.
Can I be honest?
I don't remember it. I know you don't.
You know why?
Because
we
you
destroy
too
your
much
short-term memory.
This is just like that scene in Half Baked, dude. Where he's explaining why he's not a pothead.
Yeah.
Like, potheads have low sperm count. They can't remember shit and all that. And then it just says pothead.
All right, what's your song, Max?
Well, I was really excited about this episode.
No, I am too. Stop. I was just being a silly little guy.
Well, one of the songs that you brought into the mix that really kind of stuck through.
This was one of my great joys was bringing music to you guys.
Dude, I think all of us really loved like, oh, this is our fucking time to show off.
Yeah.
You brought in the Fugees though.
Oh man.
That was a game changer. That was
so much fun.
Because should we get Hive during this? I know you just said all that stuff.
I already kind of am.
Oh, right.
That's what the show is.
That's right.
Not always.
Not always.
For this one, yeah.
All right, let me...
Okay, dude, Fuji La.
Yes.
Which, dude, I still go through and listen to this album pretty consistently.
I've got the record.
It's fantastic.
It's awesome.
I mean, god damn it.
But this one specifically, you brought this in, and I remember Ryan and I being like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Because it's... let's just play it. Fuji La by the Fugees, baby.
Oh my god!
This used to be one of my favorite things.
Dog, I have such a clear memory of like it would be the green neon lights from your dashboard or whatever through the smoke and hearing this like, oh
yeah, dude,
minivan
full of smoke.
This fucking rip, dude.
That's why Clef see that flesh get scored.
God damn, this brings me back so specifically to that car.
Me too. This song is so good.
Yeah, this whole album's great. This is, I remember when I got a Volvo, this was very popular in my car, because I remember I started hanging out with different people, and like, you guys are never going to believe what I know about, and I'd show the Fugees to them, and they'd be like, this fucking rips, and I'm like, I know, dude.
I used to have this as a quote on my Facebook. It's a great shame.
Dude,
trying to front like you down with Mount Zion. Ooh, la la la.
God damn, this song fucking rips. Yeah, I mean that just it's so funny when I think about like that is what I remember most from high school is the nights that we would just hang out, all of us. Like, I mean, there was a before. So, do you know how my house became the house? Have you heard this?
No.
So the reason that everybody went to my house was because when I worked at that music camp with Jaron and Ryan and Zach, one night at the last day of camp, Jaron's mom had sent him home, like back to Atlanta with coconut rum, Smirnoff like ice, and peppermint schnapps. And we sat out in my backyard, chain smoking clove cigarettes, smoking pot, and chugging like peppermint schnapps and coconut rum, and everybody puked everywhere. We kind of realized, like, I think we can get away with this here, too.
Yeah. It was definitely slowly us stretching our boundaries.
How far can we push it before my parents catch us? Then they did.
Oh, they caught you.
They caught me.
And I was with my family in Savannah.
That's right.
I was having my favorite time of the year, which is the week I spend with all my cousins and my aunts and my uncles in Savannah. On the beach, just the greatest time. I'm with my cousin Bradley, just loving life. And Max calls me and goes, we got caught. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, my dad caught me and these other two dudes smoking pot in the backyard. And I was like, you got caught. I was not there. So keep me the fuck out of it. I was pissed. I was like, don't bring me into this. You don't have to tell him that sometimes I was there, other times.
Well, dude, I was just so high and the panic was setting and I was like, everybody's getting in trouble. You weren't the only call on my list. I thought,
you thought everybody was getting got.
You were one on a big tree, dude. I had a lot.
Did everybody respond the same? Like,
no,
I don't know.
You were the only one that took this aggressive, like, fuck you, leave me out of it. Every other person,
like you're fucking Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, dude. You were the only. This kind of really opened my eyes to how you would handle a scandal. Like everybody else is like, "Fuck, we're in trouble," and you're like, "Deny till you die, brother." Like,
that was what you told me. You told me a lady once said, "Lie till you die."
Something like that. Yeah.
And I always remembered that. I was like, "Oh, okay."
But yeah, I just remember calling you and being like, "Well."
I just remember being like, it's very uncool that you would even incriminate me when I wasn't there at all.
Well, in my head, it was just like, well, if I'm getting caught, we're all going down. And I wanted you to have some time to prep and get ready. I treat everything like an FBI investigation.
Michael, Sub's coming out, and
yeah, dude,
I want you to know.
I just wanted you to have your crisis team in place. So when the shit came down, you'd be ready.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like a big surprise.
There were plenty of other crises that I had to...
Well, and everybody else I called was like, oh my God, what do we do? How do we prep? I was like, I might lose my phone, so you might not hear from me for a bit.
I was like, good. Don't call me. What a man.
I just remember turning to somebody else and be like, well, Michael's fucked. It's like, I don't think he understands the gravity of the situation.
All right, that brings us to the next song.
Yeah, what you got?
This is Doing Time, because you were in trouble. Right? Doing Time by Sublime. Oh, buddy, Sublime in high school.
They definitely had a place in your heart.
I mean, this is one of the all-time greats.
This showed up.
This is a cruiser.
This was a big cruiser.
Listen to this in the wagon.
This was sneaking out of the house music.
Oh, yeah.
This was like...
You're up to something.
Oh, yeah.
On the microphone with Ross MG.
I never really got into Sublime.
You had to listen to their other album. That's where a lot of cool shit was, like 54, 46.
I never knew it. I still don't know
stoned.
it. Because my thing, and I say this as a guy that's now into Fish. Sublime was part of that Fish group where I was like, I don't want to fucking listen to this.
Well, it was a similar crew that liked Sublime. And
Fish. And I remember not liking those. That's not true. It's not that I didn't like those kids. I really didn't get it.
No, Sublime was in a really cool place because they had a they were from Long Beach, so there was like the elements of the hip hop and all the dub and reggae and then punk. It was just really fucking cool. And they know how to jam, dude. They know how to hit a fucking bass line and groove.
Brother, wait.
And that dude knew how to sing, and that's in my range, dude.
That's what it is, dude. I think there's probably something to that. You probably like music that you can sing.
Not always, but in that case, it felt like stuff I could sing along to. Where I was like, oh, yeah.
I do. That was a fun one, though. I do remember hearing that so many times in the fucking car, and it took me a while to realize it was Sublime.
My brother was super into him, too. That was the thing. I also had the older brother.
Right. I didn't have an older brother.
Yeah.
But I did have... more jams.
Oh, yeah. What do you got? I know what we should close out on, and it's definitely yours, and it's not the one you're about to say.
Oh, yeah.
You're about to do Paper Planes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Paper Planes, dude.
This was huge. This was because it got big because of Pineapple Express.
Pineapple Express, but also this was one that, like... Because we worked at Dunkin' Donuts together.
Yeah.
And this was a big, like, you would pick me up for work a bunch, and it was always like, fuck, it's 4:35 in the morning.
Yeah.
Let's get fucking hyped.
Got to use the music to get hyped.
And nothing gets you more hyped than Paper Planes.
It's true.
I remember where I was when I found out that this was a sample.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was at Jack's Pizza.
Hey, shout out to Jack's Pizza.
Well, and I remember putting this on the jukebox. And Sam, the bartender, was like, is this the original? I was like, fucking yeah, dude. And he was like, no, it's not. I was like, yeah, it is. This is the original song. And then he showed me it was a Clash song. And I was like, oh my God.
This is my name.
If you come around here. This song does kick so much ass.
So much ass. So much ass.
It's just a good viber. Yeah, dude. And Pineapple Express, that must have come out when we were in high school, right?
I think so. So did Superbad, right?
Well, Superbad was a big one. I remember when that came. Yeah. That was a big deal.
Damn, that was a big deal. That was fun.
I watch that movie probably twice a year still.
Really?
It holds up. Dude, Steven Glansberg is just something you can say to people and it'll...
Steven Glansberg?
Steven Glansberg. If you, I guarantee you, if you just went up to a friend and said Steven Glansberg, they'd start laughing.
I guarantee you that's not true.
Okay.
I told you, I'm not
I like that. I like that.
I'm only saying how I feel.
I would venture to guess that you're wrong on this one, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a gentleman's something.
I'm going to just tweet out the word Steven Glansberg.
Tell me how many likes it gets.
Let's see. Do I have my phone?
No.
No? Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay, so while you do that,
yes,
I got a song. Man, remember the movie The Whackness?
Dude.
Huge for me in high school.
Huge for me now.
The movie The Whackness, because of the soundtrack, the way it was shot, it was like a young guy in New York, and I always thought that was cool. It was fucking Josh Peck.
Josh Peck.
A guy who was a fat kid that became a thin, attractive man.
Yeah.
And this was like his big going against being a child star movie. And I thought it was fucking great.
It is great. I own that movie. That's another one I watch probably once or twice a year.
I haven't seen it in years because I just want to hold on to the memories I have of it. I don't want to watch it again and sort of corrupt it. Yeah, but dude, the soundtrack is what got me into the Notorious B.I.G.
The soundtrack, I think you should rewatch it.
I might. I mean, I'm sure I will.
It's still good.
Dude, great movie. Oh my god!
Yeah. All right. So what song you got?
This is "Things Done Changed," which isn't a super popular Notorious B.I.G. It's definitely not one people think of when they think Notorious B.I.G. But I think it's my favorite song by him.
Let's hear it. I don't know this song.
I played this for you in my room when I got speakers at a garage sale. I laid you down in between the speakers, and I played this because the instrument. This instrumental at the beginning with the strings is incredible.
Awesome.
This song is so fucking cool. And it's about how Brooklyn's changed over time. Gazelle shades and corn braids, it's your pennies.
You know what it is, dude? The older I get, the more I appreciate Biggie Smalls and like Tupac. It's because now that we're older than those guys were, it like...
Bro, this song is...
This is great.
It's just a great song about how crack changed Brooklyn. How it was like, it was a more friendly place and then it became like fucking deadly.
Well, that's what a lot of like the hip hop we grew up with too. Cause like that was something that we could not have possibly understood when we were listening to like Outkast.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, and hearing them talk about the crack epidemic and shit. And we're just like singing along to it. And it's like, I have, yeah, dude. But the old, now that we're like older than Biggie and Tupac were, it really like I'm having a completely newfound respect for like different artists and shit.
What they accomplished at their age.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god,
dude. Yeah.
Wow, I've done nothing with my life.
Yeah,
and it really speaks volumes to just how much we haven't done.
And that's always something we can spin our wheels about.
No kidding. Well, shit. Do you want to
save this one to go out on it?
We'll save.
Let me play this song for you that I tried making and see if it's any good.
Please.
All right.
You've got me so far.
This isn't the song.
Oh.
I fucked up. I don't know. I might have lost it. That's it again. Okay, it's gone.
Oh, well, you want to try doing one now?
I don't want to give you too much to cut.
Fuck it. All right. 1 year, baby.
I felt like that could have gone at some point in Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. I could see that. That could have been in Napoleon Dynamite.
Let's cut all this.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. Yes. Well, shit. Do we have any, before we do take ourselves out with this last song, do we have anything we want to talk about after a year doing this?
After a year doing this, well,
I'd say your career's taken the fuck off.
I would say that also.
Yeah.
After a year doing this, my career has
100% because of the podcast.
Yeah, the podcast entirely was the cause. We were featured on Jimmy Fallon, the podcast. Now we dominate the airwaves. We have listeners as far as Singapore.
Further, we have some Australians.
We have Australians.
We have some Ocelandics.
We have Ocelandics.
Is that the word?
Definitely
Oceanics.
not.
Oceanics?
I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
Good recap.
Yeah.
Let's well, let's yeah, all right. Fuck it. It is now 53 minutes in, and we've got a lot to do today.
Yeah, we do.
So, we've got one song left that I don't think really made... I know for a fact that this song did not make an appearance in the minivan.
In high school.
But
it has meant a lot to us subsequently.
Because you and I did... we've done a handful of long drives together.
Yes.
The biggest one, we did like 30 days on the road together, which, in retrospect, is fucking crazy. I think about this a lot. There's no way in hell I could have done that today.
Yeah.
Like, could you?
No.
There's no way.
We did it at the right time.
We did it at the right time where it was like, okay, this is our wandering 20s and stuff. Because now I'm tired as hell, dude.
I'm so tired.
I could not imagine doing it. But Wagon Wheel got us through the majority of these drives.
It's true.
What a fucking song. And I know we've teased about how important it is, and I don't think people understand that it's not a joke.
It's not a joke. And if you're from Nashville and you hate this,
grow up. Yeah, dude. That is something that really fucking bothers me about people in Nashville.
Yep.
I'm coming for you right now. Wagon Wheel's a great song.
It's a great song.
You've just heard it more than
you've heard it in the wrong context. You didn't see it at my cousin's wedding in Buda, Texas, where everybody was dancing just beautifully to Wagon Wheel.
I remember you texting this to me. You were like, I'm at a wedding in Texas, and this song fucking rocks.
And it just blew my heart out of my chest.
And I think that's as good of an intro as it's ever going to get from anybody.
That's right. I still remember my cousin Celeste sashaying with her new groom.
I don't think anybody has ever spoken as positively about Wagon Wheel.
I love this song.
I do too. I remember we went to Lake Junaluska.
Oh, yeah.
In Asheville, North Carolina.
And you're not supposed to swim in Lake Junaluska.
No,
so
sir.
we went paddleboarding.
Well, we went. I think you can go, but the deal with it is, it's like the headquarters of the Methodist Church or some shit like that. And we were hanging out. We didn't really understand what it was, but we were paddleboarding in there and hanging out. And then there's this like 50-foot cross just overlooking the lake.
Made me feel safe, I'll tell you that.
Made me feel attacked.
I said, this is God's territory.
And I said, I am not one of God's children.
You sure aren't. You are.
So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me.
Turn it off if you don't like it.
Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
All right, right. We definitely are going to have to pay somebody for that.
But this song taught me that a southbound train rocks harder than a northbound train.
You're goddamn right about that, dude.
And I think that is as good a way as any to cap off a full year of In the Minivan.
You damn right. On a train.
Hell, we're going south somewhere, brother. This shit's going down to the pits.
Shit. You know what else is south?
Huh?
Genitals. Yeah.
Thanks for being with us for a year, gang. It's been a fun. We're gonna keep it going.
Are we gonna cut the genitals line?
No.
Oh, okay.
Unless you want me to.
Well, nope.
All right. Anything you want to plug?
Watch Animal Control on Fox.
When can they watch it?
Thursdays on Fox or the next day on Hulu.
Amazing. If you go into the episode notes, follow us on all the social media. Leave us a review in your podcast app. Follow us on Patreon. Everything's in the episode notes. We got T-shirts coming for the patrons. That's it. Thanks again, gang.
I used to play with the ghosts every get it. Yeah, you are the thing, but can't just remember. Oh, yeah, I used to play with the ghosts every get it. Yeah, you are the thing, but can't just remember. Oh, wipe me slowly, zip it down, be my lady. Yeah, she come to me. Hey, oh yeah, they found some anticipation with my lady. She's everything to me. Wow. Yeah. Well, get some, get it good, yeah. Get it is good, well, get it on. Well, get some, get it is good. Ooh, well, get some, well, get it is good, yeah. Well, get it good, get some, yeah, get some, get it good.
I think I'm losing my mind.
Welcome to the Cum Zone. Only come inside anime girls.
Thanks, gang.